Hello guys, quickly do market update on Bitcoin. So we know that the price bottomed at 33,000 and we got a pump and we made a formed a triangle pattern. This was a fake out. We had those liquidity, the self-state liquidity, and this thing breaks. Many people sold and the big players bought and they got the liquidity to get into the market and they pumped the price back up. Uh, so you can see this kind of distributive pattern at all. Most of the time, look at this. These patterns are a distributive pattern. In it's a big volatility spike at the first, and then a volatility cooling off, then back down again. This is kind of creating a bracket or a range within the value area and creating an imbalance and getting a bound from this range book in the POC of this dollar range. And yeah, that's how the market works always. From drawing a talk at this, yeah, this range. If I'm marking at this range, and you can see that almost the price expecting this dollar range after this big dump. That's almost from the poke the price bounced back there. So that's why again you can see this kind of patterns playing out again and again, making a volatility spike and then a volatility cooling off. And this kind of pattern is what usually we can play, we can see, we can notice in a bear market, and instead of going big imbalances in the market. So uh, actually, this time, price was just a distributive pattern like it was continuation temporary. After this, making big imbalance price uh, made another rally area, then back up. And so at this time, you can see the same pattern here, like we did see here, and also the pattern we are now seeing. This kind of big distributed pattern, and also the final time in this case, we had a big pump to this resistance at this area to grab those liquidity, uh, which means there would be many players uh, who is willing to long at this breakout by saying that we broke the resistance and then trapping those kind of longs at the tops and then making an imbalance and again price comes down. So and this time even after uh, this kind of distributive deviations making at the highs, we got another consolidation and volatility pull off at this area before something happens like this, which happens because the reason for that was here at this point there was a big longs at this area. So when the price comes again, also maybe there would be the big shorts. This is a range, a total range, and at this area there would be people who expect the price come back down, and because this kind of big volatility spike and cool off, and there will be shorts, and this shorts may have bought. They have exited the break even, and also people who short at the from the top are not enough. They are not really willing to fight with this big volume, which is accumulated out here. There would be, if there is some big players who made the longs, they can defend their longs by averaging again into this long at the same area. Filling their resting orders at this area. So yeah, it can happen. So that's why the shorts closet their position at this point. Again, we could see the same deviation pattern this time. There is no exit kind of break-even liquidities. Also, Yeah, I mean, once this kind of liquidity at this point is no more that much strongful, it's broken with a big volatility, huge volatility spike, and that happened at those times. So right now we are in a similar situation, like kind of making this kind of pattern. Um, so I haven't taken any action at this moment because I had shorter this thing. I closed it. I booked my profit somewhere on the low. There was an auto block in the 30 minutes or something like that. Yeah. So I booked my profit at the auto block. Let me show you that. This was an auto block which tested at the first time. Or we can consider this as a supply ST zone, and price came to this and bounced back. And the second time, this S and B zone turns into this. Okay, so this, and we can take out this thing. Okay, this is not have a strength, and we can make longs. And this is the first touch after this, and the second touch. And there is no more. Most probably, there won't be any more strength for the third touch, and even the third touch. If you did made a if you made a long at this point at this thing, you could have get a resistance and move to the resistance, and again coming back down. um, See this kind of liquidity is getting up and up and up again. um, so I understand because this is supply zone. We could get a big volume in the spike. You can see the big volume. It is unusual. Let me change the moving average into something else. I set it into one because uh, I used to set a price alert, not a volume alert, to get find the volume spike happens, and the volume spike happens. Usually the volume spikes happen every top and the bottom. I will show, let me show you that. This is the Coinbase, and this is not what I'm looking look for the volume actually. The perps have bigger volume than the futures because that is what you usually see. Look at this thing, this thing, big volume spike, and this is smaller than let's go and count and just about 1,000 volume. And this is like what was it, 2,000 volume. Yeah, not 2,000, but decent volume was at the top of the range. But yeah, here it is. You can see the big volume. 2,000. Yeah, 8.2 K 8.2 BTC. It is not in the USDT, but 8.2 BTC. It's approximately around 300 million volume at the spike, and this, yeah, this would be most probably that kind of case of stop loss grabbing or something like that. Yeah, and uh, this was the prior high, and once we get above that prior high and take out some liquidity, grab those stop losses of the shorts, and also the longs we made at this point. Yeah, everything is taken out, and then but it's most probably it's gonna reverse from that point. Um, so this was the context. Yeah, what's this? What's the first shot I have been referring to or not? No, I think this is not the chart that I well I that was a buy indicator. I shot not Bybit, but I think it was it was the Coinbase itself. Yeah, just Coinbase, and you can see the big volume here at this moment. The second test it was low volume. This time the volume increases. Uh, So that's why the price. You can see the arriving of the volume at this point. See this, but this is an absorption of the liquidity with a big volume than the average, but the price volume reverse it. That is a first sign of a weakness at this point. This area is with a low liquidity, and even a small selling pressure is enough to break this area. And even if the longs have got a chance to close the trend or break even, if it is like a big deal. And this was our oldest uh, demand area that has been tested once again, and we are testing it one more time right now. We are instead of it, and you can notice the is the volume is comes in or not. Volume is not coming. Volume is still below these kind of things. But there is no big liquidity at this point. But I'm not taking any action at this moment. I'm watching the market, and if this thing breaks, and I would look how what's kind of break happens. Because of this is a big volatility spike at this point. Big kind of big move makes break imbalance at this point. So that's why I would expect a big move to the downside once it breaks on, because this is a liquidity void. So I'm waiting for that moment. I'm gonna set in price alert of this area, and once it breaks, and there, I will look for the confluence. Yeah, if it's a big kind of big move and big spike, and I'm yeah, I think um, I, yeah, we can know what's gonna happen by looking at the volume. And if it's like consolidation with a low volume, then it's more probably it's gonna be trapping uh, and fake out kind of move. If that is a big volume, then this thing uh, can sorry, man, but, this thing can break this thing because this is a liquidity volume. So what I need is move with a decent volume. Uh, when we can notice if the volume is pulsing, you know, if the volume is increasing at this loss, which means people who is looking for the early shorts are getting in, or the averaging. And I mean, if I have $100 and making an order with a $25, I mean, $25 in shorts here, that kind of building the shorts would be at this loss. And if you wanna get an insight into that, we should have to look at the open interest kind of stuffs. Uh, okay, so let me take the coin analyze to do an analysis on the coin of open interest kind of stuff. And I need to get the BTC USD Binance. That's a good volume. Then most of the case I prefer the Binance over the FTX for looking the volume or the TPO, the order flow, that kind of stuff, because it's more it has a big volume, decent amount of volume. When it is in the sports or the future, uh, sometimes FTX have bigger impact, bigger from bigger levels of volume than Binance, but most of the time Binance is for. And I'm gonna put the open registered coin margin in the stable coin. The coin margin is what I personally look for because it's a bigger contract, bigger positions. Look at this, 3.9 billions of positions is getting opened at this point in the market. But when you look at the stable coin, it's very low. Yeah, it's very low. So that's why I prefer the coin market open interest rate. So in this case, you can see the stablecoin open interest is going up, which means the when if the price is comes down from this point, price is comes down. the open interest is going up in both case scenario. It means that these shorts are building, but you can see a slight kind of sideways action in the coin margin at this loss because some of the coin margin players are in the uncertainty of this process because this kind of move to the downside is not that it's also it's the downside. It means the shorts um, I mean, or the longs. I mean, any players are closing their positions there. There is no more open interest comes in. This a decrease in the open interest is usually happens while taking. I mean, while any party is taking their profit, closing their positions, or a liquidation happens, or stop losses. This that's kind of situations. Okay, so you should be really care about that all the way into your mind. Um, so that's why I'm watching the market. I'm not gonna take any decision at this moment. I'm just watching the market and just I do take any trades or any if I'm making any shorts, I would inform in that in the Telegram channel. If you don't have a Telegram channel, please you can join in in this channel. Crypto world. Also, that we have a chat group over here. There I have set some moderators. They will share the charts when you guys ask a request. So I'm not gonna say it will come down or come go up, but I would say I would give you some levels. You know, if this thing is gonna break and then price will most probably gonna come back down to yeah, go down to this area. I mean, extend the this area most probably, and then I move back up. So uh, only if it breaks, and uh, we could see what's the condition of the current market by looking at the opening versus current margin players are closing their positions, and some of them are booking their profit on the shorts because they are in an decision mode. While the USDT players are keep shorting, keep adding their short positions, the coin margins are closing some of their shorts. So that's why short term I'm expecting kind of move maybe to the this. So that is a short term move. If you are a scalp trader, you can take that trade, and most probably it's gonna happen. I mean, in certain conditions, it's gonna play out. But and look at the volume. Volume is also very low, so that's why I'm gonna wait for making any new trades. I just need to get it break to make a new trade, or if something like this happens, like so this is the price high, and there will be many shorts at this point, and when the price uh, comes back and break this thing, it's can go up. Still have both possibilities, but personally, I'm looking more to the downside than to the upside. Okay, the more probability is to the downside, most probability. Yeah, this is on the case of probability, but do I make a trade? Not. I need to get it break unless I don't enter in any new position. Okay, so that's the market update. Yeah, here we had a good HLS pattern, and then it played out very well. And whether if it is the inverse head and shoulder or the head and shoulders, there would be always some kind of drawbacks into these areas before it goes up. So we can see anything can happen. You know. This thing creates a range here and then comes back. Then it could be another big head and shoulders here. Uh, yeah, we can literally draw the patterns like this. There is no such rules. It's all based off of the ranges and the value areas, maybe that kind of stuff. So that is it. That is for today's market update. I think you guys have made a decision. If this thing is rejecting at this point, then the next level is this 39 to 40K would be what I would be looking for. Then if this thing is again, if this thing gets some uh, bounce back here and then take out the highs, then the market structure changes there and the market tends from a bearish um, daily structure to a bullish daily structure. There we can be more optimistic. But if this thing getting some reactions at these points, then I would definitely go for a long at this point because that would be the most favorable long point. Because if you're longing there, our risk is very small because you can set a stop here. But if you are longing at this point, we don't have that much stop. We have an invalidation that which is based on the supply demand zone, supply zone. But at this case, at this moment, we cannot see the volume comes in. So the time is right now is uh, the 4 o'clock and the 7 o'clock will be the New York session. There, according to that, until the New open, the price would be in a consolidation kind of situation. Once the New opens, you can see what's going to happen in the market. Because yesterday, what we have seen on the Nasdaq, I have shared that on the Telegram channel because the Nasdaq is going to bottom at this point. Uh, let's see if that's going to be a temporary bottom or something like that. Let's see. Okay, so look at this. This was the chart that I made. Bounce from this area. From there, we get a bounce um, directly into this resistance area because here we have a resistance area. Definitely, we are testing those resistances in the forward or whatever time frame it is resistance or resistance. Um, Also, we are gonna form a inverse continuous pattern, but I'm not gonna long until it's showing me. It's a breakout, a proper breakout with a big volume. Also, some couple of other charts. The New York was yesterday. It was bullish. We got a bullish kind of move, but still, it's a structure. The trend is to the downside. This is a high, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower high. That kind of downtrend is the structure overall. But this was a major support. That's why I made a long at this point. This blue box. If this thing is gonna break or hold, let's wait and see what happens. Big C, the dollar index, if that thing is bullish or bearish, let's see. Uh, and this thing is literally it's a it's a bullish thing that we could see here. We do have a resistance, so that's why uh, most probably price is gonna get a rejection from here or break or a breakout. We don't know what's gonna happen, but this thing is getting up. The momentum is there for this kind of move. So that's why I'm watching. I'm not gonna short it. I'm just watching it. Uh, the index, dollar index, um, and it's kind of area is gonna be a resistance. Yeah, another resistance area. So next major thing is the gold. Whenever the big uncertainty in the market, the gold is gonna pump up. Uh, so let me show you guys my Discord a little bit. So you guys can see the chart that I shared at 218. February, I think. This was the chart of the gold, and what you can see is here. I could get a confirmation of the breakout by seeing this volume at the on the exchange. There you can see the big volume comes into the market, and we flipped the resistance back into the support. So by this candle of yesterday, I think it was a good confirmation, but we need a one more confirmation, just like breaking above this confirmation candle, and we just there we can get an additional confluence. But in my case, I would go along. I was long the goal from here at this breakout, and yeah, some this trend line I had a long and I plus an energetic plus that straight at this resistance of the area before the breakout. And um, this time, this is a proper flipping because we have a big volume. In the small chain frame, you can see that it's this having good volume on because you see what we do see is big volume. So that's why I would expect an upside move in the gold when upside, you know. Um, so the gold is usually pumps in the times of uncertainty happens in the world. Uh, It's also some sort of measurement in the case of war. If we don't know something like a big thing, major black swan events happens, we we can even anticipate those kind of things from the charts because we could see the corona COVID-19 or even at the 2020 we could see the big spikes in the gold. Uh, yeah, even the news got a slight downside affecting the. This is a contract sells off, and the paper golds are gonna selling sovereign gold, so that's kind of stuff. Not the physical gold is traded on, but the value is becoming a major part in this case when the people doing the arbitrage. So this is that kind of gold is more probably to the upside is what I'm looking for. Um, Especially this kind of patterns are really playing out in the gold. So then what we can see here at this point. Uh, so this is what your I mean I had posted this AR trade in the Telegram channel a little bit ago. If the price is gonna pump from here, but if the Bitcoin is gonna pump here, then we can get a nice move on that too. But if the Bitcoin is going to dump at this moment, then it would definitely dump. There is no doubt in that. As we see, as I said earlier, we are seeing such kind of a little pop back up into this area. I mean, this is like a tapping the liquidity over there. So that is a quick update.